Hello and welcome to Duos in Destiny, where I don't know what we are this week,
Middle-aged men hide underground.
in their basements from their wives and children and dogs. Thank you so much for playing with us today as we play Spelljammer inspired D&D homebrew campaign. I am your dungeon master, Logan, and I do this every time. I would like to
One day.
I would like to give a special shout out to Jason Wardell of In the Vast Forest on Spotify and Bandcamp. All of the dulcet tones in the background are provided from him through his Spotify. So please support him as you support us.
Yeah.
To you, Brandon.
Those tones. My name's Brandon. I'm your player. Golly, we can't thank you guys enough. This is episode number 6. More than one hand now, which is crazy to think about. We are on episode 6 every single Wednesday. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing us with your friends. Just as always, check the descriptions for any socials, and please give us any more feedback you have. We are so appreciative of everybody out there that has followed us with this journey so far and continue to follow us in the future. I guess that takes us right back into last time.
Previously on Commander's Log!
All that still lived on the small island of Greygrim found themselves in a very small circle, as more than 50% of that population passed away in the notoriously evil fight that the Neogi brought to them. With 6 ships and the Starhammer, they were able to bring all the dead back and most of the assets that were on the island to Torvengard over about a 3-day stint.
I do believe it was 4 ships.
You said 6, but it was a 4?
Yeah.
Okay, 4 ships. During that time, Carson was able to level up to level 4, which is a huge bump. Rolled great HP, and also took the heavily armored master, which allowed him to wear heavy armor. So that should help bump up the AC a little bit. Once he reached Torvengard, Admiral Jim Horder beckoned himself, Carson, and Carlisle into his office, where a very serious conversation was had. Glasses were broken, thrown, new information that was out of this world, if you can say that in a spelljamming sense, but out of this world was given to Carson and Carlisle, ones that were on the brink of changing society and history as a whole. With that being said, a couple of things. Well, Carson gave all the information up to Tantum, trusting him as he's trusted Carlisle, giving them information of the doings of Cognan Dustfinger. Meeting adjourned as Admiral went to meet with the king to fill him in on information. Carson was able to go pick up that heavy armor he had recently gained that mastery for, and hopefully will train to use. And he also picked up a new weapon, one that will hopefully aid him in battle a little bit more. Big Maul, finally crafted.
Big Maul.
And in the day, before finding himself back in the manor, he stopped by his mother's in disguise. Well, it's the place where his mother works, called Bake Crumbs, to see her one more time before now not knowing truly how long he'll be gone. But we find ourselves with Carson stepping foot back in the manor.
Yep. So, cutting right into it, after your walkabout amongst Torvengard on your little shopping trip, we find ourselves back at the Gem Hoarder Manor. As you open the door to the manor, you are met with Ada, fully functioning, up and running.
Sweet.
As she zips past you down the hall, carrying a tray of refreshments.
I will follow Ada.
Okay, awesome. Following Ada down the hallway, she eventually leads you into a room you have not been in before, but it is a workshop within the Jim Hoarder Manor. Similar to kind of like a garage style, where there is like large bench tops kind of surrounding the entire room, as well as a couple like central tables. And you see there's a bunch of like scattered, unfinished, half finished projects. And then central to the room is one large table with a scattering of one of the last automatons on it. Zage and Carlisle are working shoulder to shoulder as best as a gnome and a gif could.
Yeah.
And most peculiarly to you, you can see kind of Zage coaching Carlisle as Carlisle is working his fingers and not actually touching the automaton, but tools are kind of like weaving in and out of his fingers and doing the work for him. And as you walk in, the tools clatter, and Carlisle sits up and he's like, "Oh, Carson, did you see that? Zage has been teaching me the mending cantrip. I can do it again." And he kind of
Please show me.
focuses back on it and starts to cast the mending cantrip once more. And like a couple of the tools start again weaving in and out of his fingers as he's kind of like moving them over. And you can see they're essentially like stitching and welding back on Sid's head to his body. So the automaton is almost done in this evening. And Ada has kind of like set down the tray of refreshments as Zay just kind of sipping on the drinks and snacking, as you guys just all find yourselves within this room. So, if there's anything you'd like to take care
of. That's incredible, Carlisle. That means you can probably fly the ship soon.
I didn't quite think of that, but
yeah.
You could as well.
It's always just been stuck. I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
He kind of like hits his age and he's like, "Look at that! Not so alone, are you?"
And that's in the back of my mind. I've been thinking that, if something would happen to Zage and all of our nonsense, we'd be, for lack of a better term, dead in the water,
stranded completely.
So yeah, good to know. Good to know there's options.
Now we're not so bad.
Yeah. How'd I do?
How'd you do?
Yeah, I was really winging it in there, and I think I was sweating through my shirt. I don't know if you could tell, my skin was definitely very hot. My blood pressure must have been out of the roof. The phrase "fake it till you make it" was going through my mind nonstop, and I just felt like I had to be strong and persevere through Admiral's questioning. Did I do fine?
Honestly, Carson, I was awestruck. You're a natural at it, truthfully. I thought you handled yourself really well.
Well, that's good to say. I didn't know if I bumbled, and I didn't know if I wasn't quite sure the job I did. So.
Moreover, he believed you.
It was all the truth.
Of course.
So.
Convincing him of such a heinous act from someone that's so well respected is quite the task. I'm proud of you.
Wow.
Truly proud.
Thank you, Carlisle. Thank you. I don't know what to say. I feel like I almost have a small amount of imposter syndrome.
Understand that.
Like I shouldn't be here. Like this isn't me.
You deserve it. You've overcome a lot in the past couple of days, and it shows. I can't tell you enough how proud I am of you.
Oh, well, and you do often.
I try.
Thank you. Have you filled Zage in with all the news?
Yes. Actually, we're preparing the ship now. Tomorrow morning we should have everything loaded up, ready to go. So,
I'd made a purchase. That'll be ready in the morning.
Perfect.
Some armor. I felt like it was quite necessary to be a little bit more prepared.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So,
absolutely. Do you still have that medal I gave you?
Yeah, that small badge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right here. Pull it out of my pocket.
Thank you.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
He kind of reaffixes it to his coat.
Yeah. Right.
Tantum would be livid if I showed up without it. So.
No, that's... Seeing how he likes to break things, I don't want to test that theory any further. So, I understand that, and we will do our best to not make him angry.
Just a little hot-headed. I call it passionate.
Absolutely. He cares.
Deeply.
Well, I would love nothing more than just to get some very solid rest, I think, before we leave.
Of course, yeah. The manor is yours. Make yourself at home. Of course, we do have that room prepared for you, so
Yeah, and I'll find my way back to that room that I previously used.
we'll be here if you need us.
All right.
For a while, at least. Sid's almost complete.
Do you need my help then?
Oh, if you wish it, it's up to you, honestly. We're just tinkering away. Once the head's reattached, we're not far off.
Well, maybe it's best that I give you your space, so that way you can continue. Sage can continue to teach you without my interruptions.
I appreciate that.
All right. Well, good evening, guys.
Good night, Carson.
Oh, Captain.
Sage just chimes in. Good night. We'll see you in the morning and come prepared.
Yes, sir.
You,
Much more than the first time.
I was going to say, you know what to expect now, so no pressure or anything, but we're professionals now, right?
Sage, weren't we always?
Right.
Yeah. We know what to expect.
Well, we did. And now we're going to a new planet. Can you believe that?
No, not at all. This feels like a story, some type of book my mother would have read to me when I was a child.
I never even thought I'd leave this Torvengard, so it's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot to look forward to and a lot
to take in.
a lot unexpected.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I should go to bed.
I mean,
After this, we have to finish.
very well. All right. I'll see you gentlemen in the morning.
In the morning.
And I retreat to my bedroom.
Awesome. Okay. Anything you'd like to do before you fall asleep?
As I find myself and I kind of sit down and I've got that maul in my hands, I hit the maul, like I just set the maul on the ground. It's kind of sitting between my feet as I'm sitting there and I'm holding it. And my head kind of rests on the top edge of the handle. And I just say, Femus, if you're real, this is my extension of you to me. You use that hammer. May this be my hammer.
Make a religion check.
Religion check,
Mm-hmm.
Smite me down.
Smite me down, almighty smiter.
14.
14. Okay, awesome. And with that little prayer, you lay to sleep and happily do not have any dreams to interrupt yourself. Skipping forward to the next morning, you are awoken by a soft on the door, and then a voice calls out and says, dearie, Admiral Jim Horder has called everyone to breakfast, so if you wouldn't mind getting around.
Absolutely. Give me 5.
Understood.
And I'll get dressed and I'll be fully dressed. I think at this point Carson's in that mindset of like, it's armor or nothing, baby.
Yeah,
Like,
yep.
It's a eyes open, armor on type of
Absolutely.
move until I feel much more comfortable.
Okay.
So
you don your previous armor. New splint mail
Yeah.
still at the shop.
Correct.
Absolutely. Donning everything.
Yep.
I suppose that would technically take 10 minutes. But
medium armor is 5.
oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Heavy
cool.
is 10.
Cool. Okay, so in 5 minutes, you do get ready and head down, and you are at the familiar dining table that you have sat before, just with Carlisle and yourself. You now find Tantham sitting in the spot that normally is just a half-eaten plate. He sits at this very high-backed chair at the head of the table, Carlisle directly opposite of him, and with their back facing you, there's a third person in the room. And Tanthem looks up and he says, Carson, good morning. Please have a seat. Commander Carson Halbrand, this is High Priestess Ogre. And you vaguely recognize, the High Priestess of Themis, kind of like a close advisor to the king. She is, for one, basically the main officiant of the Temple of Themis.
Okay.
You recognize a old, weathered kobold female.
Can I get her name again?
A High Priestess Ogri, Ogri.
Okay. Thank you.
She is kind of just wearing these large draped robes with a gnarled and twisted staff inlaid with emerald gems. And she slowly turns her head towards you and just kind of cracks a soft smile on her dry, cracked lips. And she says, "Hello, Carson. It is a pleasure to meet you. I've heard so much about you from Tantham already. Quite the tale, huh? Quite the tale."
I softly bow.
No need for the formalities here.
What has Tantham Admiral Jim Horner told you?
He told me you have joined an elite club. One only members in this room can claim. You yourself have dreamt of Themis. Pray, do tell me more of your meeting with Themis.
My meeting was short, but he comes to me in dreams. I feel like I can show you rather than tell you.
If that is better.
I step on the other side of the table, because I imagine it's kind of like General, or I call him General because it's Jim Porter, Tantham, Carlisle, and then her, then I'm like over here kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I step around, and I put my hands on the table, and I go, I dare say Themis has touched me. That's a wild sentence, sorry. Themis has given me a new light. And with that, the wings burst out from my back.
You see her eyes kind of like widen insanely, not anticipating this in the slightest. And then she kind of composes herself and she steeples her finger when she says, quite unusual. But you are quite unusual, aren't you? She turns to Tantham and she says, I see now that he does have his eyes, doesn't he? Then she says, if it is okay with you, I would like to perform a few rituals in your presence. By my word, as his voice, I promise no harm will come of you.
What are these rituals for?
I would like to further understand your connection with Themis. This is unprecedented.
I think I would like to respectfully decline.
Understood.
My relationship with Themis is mine, and he's given me the ability to be an extension of his hammer. And I shall leave it at that.
I understand. I am disappointed to hear, but your mystery is your own, and your own tale to tell. And I appreciate that, as is all of ours. And she kind of gestures to the other two in the room, who, as you now have learned, all have seen Themis previously. So, as I said, you are kind of in like this elite club of the only known people to have had any kind of interaction from an unknown entity. Um, with that, there's definitely like this awkwardness to the table now. Like it's just silence, scraping of forks.
And actually, before breakfast starts, then Carson would go, if you don't mind, I'd like to excuse myself. I have an errand to run this morning.
Of course, yeah, of course. And you see Tanthem is like really thrown for a loop here and like off his game for a moment. And Carlisle stops you before you go and says, "Please, don't be late. We have to be leaving soon."
Absolutely. That's why I figured I'd better take care of this now.
Of course.
Carla, you know I meant no disrespect, right?
Of course, I know. I understand.
So kind of like hunker down, slightly talking to me to just say, just me and rituals really don't have a good history.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
As she said, it is your tale to tell, and we all respect that.
Maybe in due time. Oh, I'll see you on the ship.
Good. Of course.
And I'll go head to the armory.
Yep, absolutely.
Retrieve my splint.
Yep. Back on the 14th level, you find the familiar sight, a busy yard of anvils and tanneries. I don't know what armorers do. That's not my day job, but they're doing it.
Hey, dude, don't you ride a horse to work? I mean...
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. But no.
Working a smithy?
That's what they're doing. They're smithing. So yeah, you see all the different smithing accoutrements laid out before you, and the old gnome in the corner, and he's putting a couple like last stitches in the splint mill, just kind of like tightening up. I assume you stitch together splint mill. I'm sure there's leather components of it.
There are. Yeah, a splint would be. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Layers,
as he's tightening up, his eyes raise up to you.
Good morning, my dear elder.
For the life of me, I can't remember the voice I did because it was off the top of my head. But
it was like a higher pitched, kind of up here.
Yeah,
something along those lines.
We'll go with that.
A little bit more like this, maybe.
Oh yes, you've returned.
That's it. That's like. Yeah.
I hope so. I'll look back and we'll see.
Yeah.
Right on time. You gave Carlisle my regards, did you not?
I did, and I'll make sure to talk to him this morning after picking this up. He was quite tired last night when we spoke, so.
Of course, a very busy man.
Yes, very much so. He's a very honorable man, and I will make sure I discuss with him about yourself today. In fact, I will meet him shortly.
Excellent. Thank you for your service.
And he gives a splint mill to you.
No thanks necessary.
And I can't remember, did you prepay him?
No, I showed him a badge.
Okay, excellent. And I do think he said it was 150 gold pieces.
Yeah, 150, 200.
Yeah.
Yeah, I showed him a badge and he said, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll charge him.
I'll charge him.
That's what you said, like it'll be like taken care of or something.
Oh, did I?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not BSing you. Split was 200.
Yeah.
Because you said like right away, it'll be. But if it was option or an opportunity for me to bring like the 200 gold back with me, like I could have grabbed it from the manor, then I would have done that too.
Okay. Yeah. I would say one way or another, it gets taken care of through the coffers of.
Yeah.
Jim Horter Manor, Carlisle, one and the same.
Yeah, if it's easiest, I could just return with the money from Carlisle and then I can pay him now.
Yep.
So.
I would say without getting off in the weeds in it.
Yeah.
Exactly what happens for
semantics.
Exactly. Pedantic semantics.
Pedantics.
So, armor gathered.
Sweet.
Next steps.
I go straight to the ship.
Okay. Heading straight towards the dock.
Carson's a little panicked.
Yeah, absolutely.
That felt way above his pay grade. Like after saying the night before, imposter syndrome, don't feel like I should be here. Then all of a sudden, at a dinner table, you have Admiral, High Priestess, and Carlisle, and the High Priestess goes, "I'd like to do some rituals."
Yeah.
Carson goes, "Huh?"
Oh yeah, no, it's it's a out of the depth kind of moment there
Yeah.
for sure, because truly this is High Priestess of the Temple of Themis, like close advisor to the king.
Right.
Tantham just went and spoke with the king. Like Tantham is basically a public figure at this point, as much as Carlisle is.
When like Carson felt that maybe it was best to show instead of speak.
Yeah.
And so all he does is keep speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he says that and he saw her reaction, now he's regretting his decision to show. And now he's panicking that if somebody else tried to hurt me, and now all of a sudden the highest people up in Torvengard know of me, who's to say that they won't do the same?
Mm.
You know, his trust for people is
pretty low.
Yeah, very weary
Yeah.
in the regard. So
Absolutely.
like he's like panicking. Like his first mindset is I'm getting to my room on the ship.
Yeah.
Swapping my armor, keying my axe. My maul's with me all the time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
With my magnet that he put on the back.
One thing that kind of also catches you off guard in the morning is as you're kind of like the journey to the armory, not as busy, like it's kind of earlier in the morning, but on the journey back, by the time you're traversing back towards the docks, the streets are absolutely flooded with people, and everyone is heading away from the docks, up towards the temple. Well, like in that direction, they're heading up essentially at this point, and it's like kind of like a mass exodus in a way, in the fact that you're swimming upstream as you're going down and everybody else is coming up, and so take that as you wish. If you wish to take like back alleys or just continue on the plot straight main road downs, fastest route possible.
Yeah, collar up a little bit, cover my face, and I'll just dip in back alleys, absolutely.
Okay, awesome.
So to not go against the crowds as much.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. So you kind of like are trying to avoid everybody as best as you can, but still making your way down.
Yeah, no, I'm not following him.
Yeah.
He's in panic mode.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that almost puts him even more panic mode, just because now all of a sudden after like anxiety high stricken this morning, now all of a sudden all these people are doing a weird activity, leaving this space.
It's not truthfully weird. You would know that anytime there's like a large announcement or any kind of ceremony in any semblance, oftentimes it happens in the top of Torvengard.
How often does that happen?
Not terribly often.
Okay.
Yeah. Think about what you just came home with, though. Like 16 dead bodies.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
more so like
And
now.
big news.
Now Carson is single-minded though,
Yeah.
not thinking about what everything else. Now he's only like, oh shit, I'm back on Torvengard.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, this is where I died. Oh
Yeah.
gosh, all these people are leaving. These high, like now it's like all.
And you just denied the High Priestess.
Yeah, it's all
Like-
it's all constricted. Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. That's what I told you. I would. Carson's brain was in survival mode, talking to Admiral the day before, and trying to be strong and being
Mhm.
honest. And now he almost feels like, okay, now everybody's coming to me to talk. I'm not ready for this. This is
Yeah.
like moving like really fast, and they're asking me to do too many things. And boy,
Yeah.
can I trust them? I haven't even earned the trust to be able to, like, know that I can trust myself. So
The rise to stardom.
right,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
LeBron James.
With a slow pace, you finally do make your way back to the docks, which are pretty much barren. You see the Starhammer moored, at its usual location, and you see a couple of the automatons kind of whirring around the base, starting to loosen the knots, ready for departure. The crane is lowered at the docks, ready to be
You could jump
raised
on, pull the rope.
Okay. You lift back up and you see the top deck completely empty, but you hear the like clanking and cluttering around of people below deck.
Okay. Yeah, I find myself in my room first. I don't, unless I run across Zage or Carlisle, I find myself to the room.
Okay.
Put on my splint.
Yep. Yeah.
Get comfortable in it.
While you're donning your splint armor, like you're doffing the medium plate, you're donning the splint, you take notice once more of a small bat in the corner of the room, which you actually catch off guard as you kind of like are shimmying out of your armor. You look up, and it is out of the out of the mud burrow in the corner, and kind of like crawling down the wall.
Can you hear me?
Make an animal handling check.
I'm not here to hurt you.
Do it with advantage, would you please?
Do it with advantage?
Yes, sir.
Who doesn't like advantage when you have a -1? 15.
A 15. Okay. There is no like the bat as it's kind of like crawling down the wall, pauses, perks its head up at you, and then continues. Actually, instead of crawling because it's a bat, sorry, I got the hiccups. Instead of crawling as it's a bat, it kind of like takes a peek at you, and then just pushes off the wall and kind of like flutters down, kind of gliding, and lands. I assume like when you walked in, you set your maul down, hammerhead down,
Absolutely.
thing up. It lands right on the handle of the maul and just kind of like claws itself to it and is like holding on to the maul.
Are you here for me?
It just kind of climbs down to the bottom towards the hammer and just kind of like sniffs around the head curiously.
Well, I never was given a pet growing up. Maybe you and I can go ahead and have it. This room. And I'll like kind of reach in my pack and pull out a little dried ration of some kind, some meat of some kind, and kind of set it down a little bit away from the mall.
Mm-hmm. It very cautiously like takes its first couple like slow steps away, and then like approaches the whatever you laid out for it and begins to nibble slowly at it, kind of like keeping its eye on you the whole time.
There you go. I'll let you be. I don't want to scare you. I mean no harm against you. Seems as maybe if you've been hiding from something in here as well. Maybe we have that in common. I'll start doffing my breastplate and just kind of let it be.
Yep. Before too long, like while you're kind of like clanking around pulling armor off, you hear, "Carson? Carson, is that you?"
Yes, sir. Yes, Captain. Just getting my room ready.
I just wanted to make sure you're here. We're departing here soon.
Yep, I'll be out in just a second. I just sliding on this new armor.
Are you okay, Carson?
Just that last strap up and leave the jacket off for now and walk out and
Oh, that looks spectacular.
Oh, thank you. You paid for it.
Well, yeah, my Tantum did, not me, but
I think I am. Sorry, that was just a lot.
understandable. I didn't know she was going to be there this morning either.
Yeah, I'm afraid that I may burn a bridge or two.
Don't worry about it. Not at all.
I'm sorry.
No, it was a lot of pressure, honestly. Tantum told me after speaking with the king, he insisted that the high priestess meet with you, and she was quite keen on it herself. So, I didn't expect the wings. I know you did that previously, but I shouldn't ask. But never
No,
mind.
you're more than welcome to ask, Carlisle.
We'll talk about it later. We've got quite the journey. Would you mind helping me unmoor the ship?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Okay.
Then I'll run out.
And he kind of like helps distract your mind, and you just guys get set to tasking. Kind of like very similar to your first spell jamming experience when you first left Torvengard, where you guys are just working hand in hand, him showing you the ropes. At this point, he's just kind of like old man watching you. Like he's letting you do the work and just making sure it gets done right, and kind of like giving you tips and tricks on how to like unmoor a ship, because I work at a shipyard day in, day out.
You do
Yar, ho,
typically.
yo ho.
Your lobster ship is pretty big. So.
Yeah, so with the Starhammer unmoored, Zage makes the announcement. He says,
Everybody aboard. We set sail for unknown planet. I anticipate we can be there in about 2 days. We just need to leave Sector A. And then leave the Terran fields. Ad Astra, and he just signs off.
So, with that, the Starhammer falls away from the space docks beneath Torvengard, and unlike your previous departures, there is no one to see you off, not even a glimpse of the occasional dock worker, as the docks are entirely empty.
Okay.
And the Starhammer falls away, drifting further and further from Torvengard, before the very familiar takes place, and you guys reach spelljamming speed and begin to jam out of Sector A. If there's anything like you would like to do in this moment, you have about 18 hours before you actually exit Sector A. You guys know you would rest on the cusp of Sector A before going forward.
I would like to spend a very large portion of this time. Most generally, I will seek out Hack and ask him to spar with me and work first with trying to get comfortable with moving with the splint armor and getting comfortable with the heavier movements, trying to slide, roll, dance around. What does it actually feel like to get hit, a little bit? What does it protect, where my weak spots are? So
Absolutely.
I really,
Make a strength check with your proficiency bonus added to it.
Dude, that was what? You see the natural 20 hit and then roll back?
Oh,
It
yeah.
rolled backwards.
It did you dirty.
Yeah, it did. That's only a 6.
A 6. Okay. It is very cumbersome.
Yeah.
The medium breastplate had a lot of movement to it, and only restricted your upper half. This restricts your entirety, and it's also incredibly heavy. Like, you're very strong, but between the split mail and the maul, you added on an extra.
And I'm not using them all at all right now.
Oh, you're not.
No,
Okay.
I'm just like hand to hand a little bit.
Okay.
And just trying to get comfortable wearing this first.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
It doesn't matter in the long run, but you do
Yes.
take quite a few hits from Hack himself, as he's kind of like just doing his job, sparring with you. And there's one moment where Carlisle, like, you can see him out of the corner of his eye. He peeks his head in as you guys are down in the galley of the ship. A cargo hold of the ship, sorry. Galley's where you eat. Cargo hold of the ship and sparring in like the most open space. And he, like, you see him peek his head in and then just quickly back out. As you are breathing heavily, sweating profusely, bleeding in quite a few locations, and Hack, for all intents and purposes, just is attacking an unarmed creature. And so it's kind of a weird sight as he sees in and just backs away, and then for the rest of the day.
Absolutely do it for much longer than I should.
Absolutely. If you wouldn't mind adding a point of exhaustion to yourself.
Okay.
As you are basically over-encumbered, not truthfully over-encumbered from a mechanical standpoint, but it's like putting on a weighted vest and then trying to go about your normal day. Like, it just takes its toll after the longest time. And this isn't even a normal day for you. Like, you are exerting yourself on top of the mental stress. So, anything else within those 18
No.
hours? Basically,
I
like
think-
the first full day.
I think I'm going to do that the whole time.
Okay, awesome. You feel near the end of the day that you skip lunch, you skip dinner. End of the day, the spell jamming ship you feel it lurch and stop, and you look out one of the port windows, and you guys are just gently orbiting a small asteroid. You see beyond the Terran fields and into wild space itself, and it's just empty. So very empty. Daunting. And with that, you can take a long rest, null and voiding the point of exhaustion, and healing any sort of wounds that you did take from Hack, which were pretty extensive. Like, I would say at the end of the day, you were probably in like the bloody territory of getting beaten, battered. The thing starts to hurt. Like, every move, you can feel the cut scraping against the sweats in the wounds, and Hack is unrelentlessly just sparring, doing his duty. In the morning, once more, you do find the little mud bat is perched on your maul as you wake up. It's just kind of like hanging out on the top of the handle.
It's gonna eat me when I'm sleeping.
Rabies.
Yeah. Space rabies. Zombies.
Spadies.
Here's your zombie outbreak.
Yes. Patient Zero, Carson Hallobrand.
Hilarious.
That would be a twist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, in the morning, if there's anything you'd like to do, first thing.
Pull out a little food again for my bat friend.
Mm-hmm. As you start to feed the bat, you kind of like place it on the ground, and he's getting closer and closer to you, to the point where if you really wanted to, you could probably reach out and touch him.
Not yet.
Okay, not yet.
Building the trust.
I will not make you roll the animal handling check.
Building trust.
Absolutely. The slow trust.
I think I'll call you. Hallow.
I like it.
And I can call you Hal for short. Remember, it's to keep me grounded. Remember who I am. But more importantly, to know that this is hallowed ground. This is my ground. This is my space. But I'll probably just call you Hal most of the time. Here's a little more. And pull off a little more jerky and I kind of set it down.
Absolutely. Speaking of feed, you realize how hungry you are. As you see the bat kind of nibbling on the jerky, the hunger just deep within your stomach. You realize it's probably been about 24 hours since your last meal. Like the breakfast with Tanthem.
I didn't eat, remember?
Yeah. I'll say you maybe snacked somewhere else, but otherwise, like, that was the day there. So, incredibly hungry.
Yeah, definitely. Go down for breakfast.
Okay. You find breakfast. Everybody's sitting around. Carlisle and Zage all eating. And they both look up. And Carlisle's, Carson, good morning.
Good morning. I'm never going to wake up before any of you guys, huh?
Early riser. It happens when you get old. Yeah. It's this weird thing. I hit 45 and all of a sudden I just... 5 o'clock! Every time. Can't even go back to bed. I try, but I have to pee, so... I'm up.
Fair enough. I guess I better just take it while I can then, right?
It's nice to be young.
Yeah.
Those days are long past behind me, but...
That's what we always hear.
Can I show you something? After breakfast, of course, eat, but
Yeah, absolutely.
it's quite the sight.
Please.
Okay.
I can
No, by all means, finish.
I can bring my play with me.
Oh, I'm not even done finished. I'm not
Oh,
cleaning up.
okay.
You see this? I didn't build this by skipping a meal. I noticed you skipped quite a few yesterday.
Yeah. Sometimes you're hungry, sometimes you're not.
I don't know that feeling.
Yeah. Sometimes you have your mind to battle and your stomach's not even in the equation.
Quite the battle yesterday.
You could say that. You could say that.
I understand.
Hopefully, I didn't royally mess anything up back there.
If you did, you did. But
That's reassuring. Reassuring, Carlisle. Thank you.
we're in new territory, truthfully.
Yeah.
Nope.
The two highest powered people in Torvagard wanting me, and then on top of that, the highest priest/priestess of Themis in being so inquisitive. It was just a lot.
I don't want to lessen your experience by saying this, but truly, I know exactly how you feel. I was there 30 some odd years ago when I first came. Everybody wanted to see me, everybody wanted to talk to me, even still. 30 years down the line, people still pester me about my past. And I know nothing. I know even less than they do. So I understand. And I'm here. If you need anything, absolutely anything.
That's the problem, though, is that I do know. For the most part. I mean, obviously, other than what happened that night. But I do know what I've seen. What Themis has talked to me and told me. I do know what's happening. But it feels like I'm changing every day. The things that I'm capable of doing today that I wasn't able to do yesterday. These wings that I'm able to sprout from my back. The magic that I imbued in my weapon. There's things that I can't explain. But all I can do is fall back on Themis and trust that whatever he's doing, it's in his guidance and his light, and that I'm doing something positive in this world. Something that I can is right.
I truly hope that's the case for you.
Yeah.
Every day, you really do something truly weird. I did not expect you to do the day before. The wings, the magic. It's a lot to see. Just outside looking in.
Absolutely. Last night, while I was laying in bed, I was looking at something, and I discovered I can do this, and I snap, and on my finger I cast light. Just a cantrip. And my finger just like the top knuckle to the edge, just yeah, dude, like perfect.
Phone.
Hey, phone home.
Oh, my goodness.
I can cast light. I mean, you know, that's when I turn it off, and then his whole jacket, not it would be a lapel, like the board or the. Golly, I'm drawing a blank. What is the flap on the jacket that folds closed?
I think you're right on lapel.
Lapel.
Yeah.
I take it. I just snap his whole entire lapel. I cast light on his lapel.
Isn't light a touch spell?
Is it?
I honestly
Oh, it
think
is a touch.
yeah. So
Okay.
I mean, like
so
this.
I just go like this.
Oh.
And now he's just shining.
Well, that's handy.
Yeah, it is.
Spiffy, honestly.
A little bright from my side.
As if I need to draw more attention.
But I guess technically, I don't know that I ever realized this. You have to have a firefly or a phosphorus moss to cast light.
That's hilarious.
In my head, components just didn't really exist for a cantrip because it's a cantrip.
Right. Yeah.
You think it would just be either like a verbal somatic component, not
Yeah.
really material.
I do suppose the message spell is a small piece of copper wire.
True.
Yeah.
You're speaking to.
Yeah.
Well, whoops.
Conage comes sponage.
Yeah.
Right. You know.
When it
Who
makes
needs
sense-
those
when it
things
makes
until
sense,
they
it
get a
makes sense.
monetary value? It's like a
Yeah.
Is it okay? It's okay.
But I don't know. That's enough about me, Carlisle. I'm sorry. I'll quit being a moody teenager soon. But what was this really cool thing you wanted to show me?
Come on.
Absolutely.
And he makes a quick pit stop at his room, opens the door, and just kind of reaches behind it and grabs like this large, like cylindrical object. You guys head back up to the deck, and he pulls from kind of like a poster tube, in a sense. Pulls from that this like telescope.
Yeah.
Sets it up on a tripod, pulls it out, and kind of like sights it in, and he's like,
Take a look.
All right.
Okay.
Take a look.
and before you see a planet. You are looking at a
Is it Pop-Tart?
is this a Pop-Tart? Damn, what an insult.
It's just a perfect square. That's why I said it.
Hey man,
Chomp, chomp.
Yeah, so you see a blue and green planet before you. It has, like, on one point of its rotation of axis, its northern pole, if you will, is an ice cap that completely encompasses that. And then before that, it breaks into an ocean. And then you see this odd band of land, a strip of land that basically encompasses the entire globe as if it's a belt that just doesn't quite connect in the middle. And that would be the like kind of like the channel you see between the two.
That's where the One Piece is.
Sorry. And you can start to make out certain details of the planet. You see
That was really cool.
the large stretch. We'll get to that in just a second.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm excited about that part. You see large stretches of forest, mountain ranges that divide it, a yawning desert. Another, like, there's two separate mountain ranges. There is one corner of the planet that is very lush and full of dense jungle, and then it kind of peters off into like this greenish brown swamp area before flattening out into the plains. And in the middle of the, like, interrupting that lush green is this massive cracked spot of black, like void of all light. It looks as if a shadow has just been imprinted on the planet itself. But it's not quite a shadow because it looks more like fissures that are just pure black amongst the planet. You also take note of two orbiting moons. One moon much smaller than the other, like grayish in color with a large crater on it. That's orbiting the northern hemisphere, and then orbiting the southern hemisphere is a much larger moon, kind of like tinted green. But the two kind of orbit opposite of each other in the planet itself. And Carlisle's like,
The top is this like snow looking? Or,
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, ice cap,
Very
essentially.
good. Very good. Sorry
Yeah.
if I missed that.
Nope, you're fine. And so yeah, that large, like, dark spot is that, like, craggy kind of shadow area. That's
Oh yeah, you described it well.
cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah.
You know. This is awesome.
So the as you're, like, kind of taking in everything that is this planet, you do recall previously you saw a ship that was in
Taylor's
orbit
office.
of on that massive telescope that he was looking through. There was a ship that disappeared kind of like towards the surface of the planet, and it was going towards that black spot.
Oh.
So before you lost sight of it, that was kind of like in the direction it is. So truthfully, you've probably seen the planet before, but nothing this close. Like, we're talking like it's-
details now
yeah,
sticks out.
exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. Wow.
You can even see, like, in terms of the details, you can even see, like, one of those mountains is massive in comparison to all of them, and like producing like this massive amount of cloud and smoke and ash and like small eruptions from it. And so
Yeah.
it's
My base knowledge of like topography like wouldn't exist. Because
Yeah.
there is no topography. So I wouldn't
Yeah.
know like what an ocean is, a volcano.
yeah,
Like
truthfully,
in the Starhammer land on the water and sail.
to remain to be seen.
I know, wild, right?
Yeah. But yeah, truthfully, like, the only thing you guys are familiar with aside from the asteroids you've landed on is
Earning for the mines.
yeah, the mount.
Sorry. That was laid on a platter.
I hate it. No, is truly just
My name's Steve.
the single mountain of Torvengard.
Hey, myself.
I'm ignoring you.
Hey, myself. Earned for the mines. Worst part is that's the second time I've said that today.
Oh
I
no.
can't even get away with it. I gotta call myself out for doing it twice in one day. All right.
Carlisle just
That's holy.
That's
You're telling people get to live on that much space?
yeah.
Damn.
Tentham hopes maybe we can.
So what do you think that big hole is in the center? What's all that? Is that water?
I think so.
That's a shit ton of water.
and you can kind of see like the splashing waves of movement amongst the water.
What do you do with all that?
I don't know. I truly don't. Drink it?
You never have a water problem like we've had before?
Yeah.
That'd be... Wow. Look at all those... Do I know... We have trees on Torvengard, really?
Yeah.
A little bit?
Yeah, they're on the exterior, kind of like near the peak of the mountain.
Look at those trees. I mean, there's ones that are like, much larger than I've even thought they could grow.
I've truly never seen anything like this.
This is awesome.
And worst of all, I don't even know where to begin.
Does it spark a memory at all or anything?
Nothing.
All right, man.
Not a thing.
That's all right.
I wish.
Well,
I'd hoped.
When we were with Tantham, when he showed us that ship, remember? When we were looking through the telescope, it was landing close to where that black void area is. Maybe there's a city or something there.
Could be. I
Maybe that's a
assume
good place to start.
we can get closer and observe.
How far? We're less than a day then at this point, aren't we?
We'll
Like
arrive
by nightfall?
in orbit today. Yeah.
Is
A
it
little
nightfall?
bit. Yeah, right
This
around.
evening?
So, no pressure, but
Oh no.
all of Torvengard,
Depends on
truly.
us. Wow. I'd say that's a lot of pressure.
I didn't get to talk to you about this yesterday, but I suppose yesterday morning they held a memorial for those lost on Grey Grim Island. And the king announced he's recruiting for a navy. War's upon us, and it's
Were
inevitable.
you there?
No, Tantham gave me the lowdown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's.
I was gonna say
I don't want to throw shade at you, but whenever you left breakfast, that was. He was going to tell us then. So he told me, and I will tell you. He hopes this planet, as full of life as it seems, holds some kind of hope for us. A home, reinforcements,
So
answers, anything.
when you say navy, what do you mean? What is a navy?
Oh well, we have the individual fleets, Tanthams and then Matildas,
In the Onyx, right?
but there's never been like an official capacity for what they do. They're private entities. Now,
Oh, so now this would be a
Tantham
government-based.
Torvengard
King.
represented
It's a military unit.
military force, correct. They are preparing for war.
I mean, with all due respect, Carlisle, I'm a nobody. I mean, I'm your commander. Well, it comes with great honor, but
Hold on.
if
You're not a nobody. You're Commander Carson Hallobrand of the Star.
correct,
And he kind of pokes you in the chest and he says,
Keep that in your heart. You are somebody. Never say that again.
but you are Captain Carlisle Colchester of the Starhammer. I am, and by no means do I mean this disrespectfully, but I am under your guidance and your words escape my brain. I'm under your control. I listen to you as my captain, and it is not my business to be in the king's business. See what I'm saying? When it just feels like I don't know, and I start breathing kind of heavy, and my arm kind of goes on the side. I was a dock worker, and now I'm wearing armor, and I have this just incredibly huge hammer that I think is called a maul, that she called like the skull crusher. That's wild.
Skull splitter.
Yeah, the skull splitter is what I said. He could have got it wrong.
Could have, yeah.
I'm about to go on a planet. Didn't know those were a thing, other than storytelling, and
I'll be honest. I have no idea what I'm doing here. It's as if everybody just looks at me and expects something of me. Even Tantham, he holds me in such high regard, and I have no clue why. I've not done much of note, other than help him, but I'm just... All I know is how to draw plans. It's the only thing I've actually ever known. About anything of my past, it seems to be that creating ships, I've always been good at. A knack for it.
You do a damn good job at that.
And so I think Tantham has just thrust me out here, expecting me to know what to do, even though I've always told him I don't. It comforts me to have you here, just as clueless.
Two guys not knowing what they're doing. Well,
And if you'd like me to tell you what to do, I can. But I like to have your input, because I value it a lot. And Zage is too cantankerous to have too much contact with, so...
I mean, it feels different when it's me and you on the ship, and we're bouncing off of each other. You know what I mean? When we were in Torvengard, and all of a sudden, Tantham is asking questions, and now the king is asking questions, and now the high priestess is wanting to perform rituals. That's just not on the same playing field. You know what I mean? It's just not the same as this immediate connection that we have.
I've always felt it was a lot, too. It's like being a big fish in a small pond.
Very.
You're a big fish now. How many people on Torvengard can say they've seen Femus?
Well, it makes me feel like I shouldn't have said anything.
I understand that.
Because if now I'm afraid that if the word gets out and it gets back to Cognan, what did I do? How did I keep my identity secret?
Big news on that front. Cognan has been stripped of all rank and is now enemy number one, I guess if you could say. He was, amidst one of the announcements the king was making was that Cognan Dustfinger is no longer captain. He is a murderer and a traitor. As you can expect, there was a big shock to everybody involved, everybody on Torvengard, including the folks from Grey Grim Island. They were quite outraged, but...
It's probably a good thing that we weren't there.
Yeah. I didn't want to be there either, at the ceremony. I didn't want any of that attention.
No, and I figured that blame will be directly reflected upon us.
I would hate to think so.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Well, at
what
least
is
that
going
means.
on with Cognan, but
At least that means that if he would ever go back there, that the military would have a say in his arrival.
Yeah.
And potentially now a navy. So.
Yeah. Sure enough.
Very well. Well.
For all intents and purposes, I do feel that Tantham, at least, has your back and our back. I trust him fully.
Well, if you do, that's good enough for me. I believe in you. The king, I don't know, you know.
I've only met him a handful of times myself.
Yeah. Well, the beautiful thing is, and I clap him on the shoulder, or on like the side of his arm, we're about to land on that planet out there. And all those words are, in the most definite side of this expression, are far behind us.
They truly are. Half of me doesn't want to go back. We could make ourselves a home there, land the ship, and never take off.
It's true. You better not talk to me too much about that, because The more you talk to me, the better that idea might sound.
Yeah, I agree. It's awfully tempting. Some
Well-
days, I just feel like I need to get away.
I got news for you, Carlisle.
We're far away.
Today's that day.
Yeah, absolutely. Sage, jam on.
Understood, Captain. We are en route.
And I shall retrieve my weaponry just to be ready and
Yep.
find myself back on the deck.
Okay. And you can see Carlisle kind of goes below deck as well and gets himself ready, fully kitted out. And you two kind of just
Got like bandoliers on now. And
pistol, 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 pistol.
I can't miss if I don't have to reload.
So, as you guys, over the course of the next 14 hours, you guys get closer and closer. In the true open of wild space, there is no stopping you guys. Amidst the asteroids, there's a kind of like a lot of stop and go, stop and go, stop and go.
Sure.
You're dodging the asteroids. But in the wild space, it is just
a zip.
a straight shot. So before you guys get too terribly close, Zage pulls you out of the spell jamming speed, and Carlisle once again sets up the telescope and takes a look, and you get a closer look at the planet itself. So if there's anything of note you would like to ask, feel free.
I would try to find what we can around this fissure and see if we can find something that denotes where that ship may have gone.
Okay, yeah. Make a perception check.
Me make a perception?
Yes, sir.
Is Carlisle assisting me?
Yeah, go ahead and give yourself advantage.
Thank you. 15. Yeah, -1. Yeah, 15.
15, okay. You are looking into this deep, dark black spot, and as you're kind of like scanning the perimeter, like over it all, you get a very close look of it. You see that everything within is rotted and dead. Like any semblance, so like there's kind of like a thick, dense jungle up near this peak, and this black has kind of like started to encroach upon it, and all the like every tree it has touched has fallen, withered, and just decayed away. In like especially in stark contrast to the lush jungle that it's pushing up to, these trees are pretty much husks at this point. There's like a dense marshland down beneath that is even kind of like getting encroached upon. And you can see that it is just a wasteland within. And kind of on this, like, let's call it the northeastern corner of that like shadowy area is what looks like a rough encampment. And you see 12 of these large-ish ships. I guess they're pretty comparable to the Scorpion ships in scale. I should have one. Bing bong. Bing bong. Okay. So, for reference, this would be probably a little bit smaller than the Starhammer because the Starhammer is oversized. But you see these like very insectoid-looking ships with large wings that have set down on the planet themselves and kind of like encircle this camp. And you can see moving throughout it is these like very slender, for lack of a better term, they look lizard-esque, like bipedal lizards walking about, and they're basically just pushing their way up into like these like low, flat, savanna-like plain, and they're like each of them are wielding weapons, and wherever they walk, they're just kind of like slashing, hacking at the wildlife and the fauna around them, and every slash leaves this wake of just decay as soon as they cut into it. It just decays everything behind it. As you kind of like start to peer into these savannas, you see there is like far off from that location itself and kind of like closer to the mountain range, there is a tribal looking area, like a very primitive kind of like village. And all of them seem to be like, again, something Carson has truly never seen, lion folk walking about and look like they're preparing for some kind of war. Like they're very agitated, mounting different beasts and packing up what they can as they are readying themselves. If there's anything else you would like to peer into.
I would like to try to scan between this forest and the taiga.
Okay. So that would kind of like encompass back over to this side over here.
Correct.
So as you're scanning up, there's this kind of like large like canyon fixture that separates the forest from the desert area. You're scanning amongst them, and by the time you get to the top, you see the ruins of a city, and like absolute ruins. There are large stone buildings, like stone and wooden buildings, that have been completely decimated, and it looks like it's been that way for a while. Like everything has like been able to be grown over. Like it's very overgrown in terms of kind of like the fauna overtaking it. But yeah, a true ruined city there. If you anything else you'd like to look at?
South. Below. Instead of going above, I want to look. Is there anything down in the marsh to the bottom of these trees? Any?
Okay. Make another perception check for me.
With advantage still?
Yep, with advantage.
12.
Okay. As you scan throughout these like marshy lands, you don't see anything. Yeah, it's just vast emptiness of marsh, more marsh. You do see like a handful of creatures. Like every once in a blue moon, you would see a creature, but it's more like a large, not bipedal lizard folk looking thing. It's more like a crocodile, if you would. But other than that, it's very scrubby, not a heck of a lot going on.
Carlisle, I think there appears to be some type of, lack of a better phrase here, animal-like creatures that they look like natives in their regards. And on the flip side, wherever that large, what we thought was like a black void, seems to be some type of death, and it seems to be caused by these lizard-like creatures. Just kind of narrating out, I can see them causing it. I can see the growth happening. It's safe to assume that those are not inhabitants of this planet. Maybe more of aggressors. I think here, and I put it back on the mountains where I found that primitive village, and I tell them to come look. I think that is where we should go. And maybe, if my gut instinct is right, they need some assistance. Maybe we can offer that assistance right away. Gain their trust.
I'm sad to know that we're not arriving to a peaceful place. But what can you expect? Maybe there's a slice of peace in there. By all means, let's investigate those ruins.
The ruins?
The city? Is that what you said? Like right there, right?
No, it's the primitive village.
Oh, the primitive village. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I misheard that for sure. I definitely thought you were talking about the...
No.
Okay, cool.
I want to go there first to see if we can gain trust and assist them in what I would presume, after seeing what's going on, that they're getting ready to go attack probably these lizard-like creatures that are causing death to their planet.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay. Hold on. Excuse me. As I yawn it out. Okay, awesome. With that said, Carlisle,
Sage, you know where to take us.
within a very short span of time, as you guys are kind of like standing, it is still 2 hours roughly as you guys are landing, but it's tense. Minutes stretch to hours, hours to a couple, and before you know it, the planet looms before you, and it is very good, Jason. Very good. It is daunting, the scale of this. You are used to one mountain,
Yeah.
and you are landing close to a mountain range.
yeah,
And it's almost like in your mind's eye, you begin to imagine like whatever Torvengard used to be attached to surely had to have been something to this scale. Like perhaps it's even from here. If you like, you're unsure, but as you land in closer, you see the inhabitants of this primitive village are all like gesturing up towards the approaching ship, this massive starhammer. And once again, the starhammer cannot land on land itself, and so you kind of like get close just on the outskirts of the village, and the crane begins to lower. And quickly you notice that all the inhabitants have kind of scattered and hidden in a very like defensive manner. You see
Okay.
quite a few have like they do have their weapons in hand, and they're readying themselves for whatever is coming down. And you and Carlisle begin to slow lower down to the surface planet on the crane.
I definitely have my maul.
Okay.
And I'm not holding it in any aggressive stance at all.
Mm-hmm. Is it like slung over your shoulder on the back on the magnet that we've canonically
No,
established?
I can't do it.
Okay.
No, I'm definitely just holding it off to one side, just kind of carrying it down.
Okay.
But it's low, one-handed, not aggressive whatsoever. We're not here to harm you. My left hand's high. We are travelers from distant land. By the looks of it, it appears that you may need some help. We're just here to offer a hand if you need it.
Make a persuasion check.
Keep hitting me with the good ones. Dude.
Do you take any automatons with you? I guess we should take a quick sidebar for that.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ada's with me.
Okay, Ada's with you. Awesome. Does she have any proficiency in the persuasion skill? I don't believe so. But
I don't know that any of them do.
one of them does. One of the spellcasters does.
In persuasion, but they don't speak.
Right. It gives you that proficiency, essentially as like a way of helping. Think of it like a protocol droid, except mute.
Mute protocol droid?
What a Star Wars fan would ever imagine.
Who would have ever thought, huh? Ben. The Bard, of course, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say I do know he would have the persuasion
No, but I'd bring Ada.
proficiency. Okay,
Because
cool.
offering assistance.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm gonna get killed here, so.
So, with a 2 on the dice, or a 1 total?
No, 2.
Oh, just flat 2. Okay, gotcha. You see all of them kind of like bristling in anticipation, and kind of like a phalanx has formed in a sense where like many of them have like pulled out these like shields and spears, and they're kind of like grouped together, and they're all defending the village from you guys dropping down by the time you actually touch down to the surface. And you know at this point, like the Starhammer can't just sit there and like levitate for too long in one location. So it's kind of like pick and choose. We getting out of here? Or we hopping off?
Carlisle, what should we do?
Well, we're here. We might as well. We might as well do it.
I dropped my hammer. Like I set it down.
Yep.
Both hands are up. Does anyone require aid? Do you understand what I'm saying? We're not here to harm you.
He drops his hands as well. Like he was kind of like doing this whole number, holding himself forward. Drops his hands and just steps off the platform. Looks over to you and he says,
You got this. We're here to help.
We can
We
heal.
mean no harm.
You see a very like puzzling reaction out of the
Lion see a hippo.
yeah right yeah
Chomp, chomp.
hungry. No, truly on like the recognition of Carlisle, the GIF hopping off, they all kind of like stop and stand up straight, and then one in particular kind of like pushes forward, still weapons in hand, and he shouts out to you in a language unbeknownst to you, kind of like very alien in everything that it says, not common in any slight. And then there's kind of like this long pause before broken common comes out. He says,
Who sent you?
No one sent us. We are from a distant land. We come seeking aid, but it looks like you may need it. You have creatures killing your planet. We can see them from above.
Consumers. Hungry. We fight them.
We can aid you if you require it to gain your trust.
We do need help. What do you offer?
Our lives. We offer to fight beside you if you need it. Our ship is very strong.
We prepare for battle. They bring ships. We ambush. Leave your ship. Fight with us. Or leave. Beyond the mountains.
and he gestures over towards like the massive mountain range that sits behind you guys.
Are there more villages, more cities?
They inhabit cowards. Won't help the fight. Defend themselves, but won't defend us. So we fight alone. The hungry, the snake people, the lizard folk, we fight.
Hands up, I look over to Carlisle, I'm like, what do you say?
Well,
More people that need help.
we either, the decisions now, we help them and get involved in who knows what. We get out of here. Part of me says get out of here. But I'm a coward.
You and I were people that needed help one time too.
We sure were.
What if this is our opportunity? If we can gain trust of them and then gain further trust, we're here to seek for allies, correct? So every ally we come across is important.
Agreed. This could mean a lot to us if we can form a relationship with these people. I see the value. I see the risk.
And maybe bridge a gap. I'm not sure. Apparently, if we're gaining information, there's more people on this island or this planet.
That's hopeful. Who knows what lies beyond the mountains, but we're here now. I agree. We help.
You have our swords. We will go to battle with you.
We fight. Tonight.
Tonight it is.
Prepare yourself. Come in.
and they kind of like open their ranks, break rank, and kind of like almost like a funnel. They kind of like line themselves up, and then like kind of like V formation, like flying V but in reverse. With him at kind of like the point, like V's here, and he's standing in front of all of them.
Okay.
And he kind of just gestures back towards the village.
And I'd, Ada, go swap yourself out with Hack.
Blink, blink. And Carlisle uses his Gorget sending message, and he sends the message up to Sage.
We need is it?
Wrong voice.
We need to get Sage down, Hack down here, please, Sage, if you wouldn't mind. Ada's coming up. We're staying here this evening. We're going to help them fight. Stay close, but hidden.
Understood, Carlisle. Hack incoming.
And there's a quick exchange between the two, and Hack kind of wheels up, battle axe in hand, with shield.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Battle axe and shield.
stow both, Hack. We're not in fight.
It's like, magnetically.
Yeah.
You're just kind of
His is definitely
yeah.
magnetic.
You're a little jealous when he
Yeah.
does it. He's like,
Dang,
gotta get myself one of those.
dang it. I wish my mall could do that. You never really know a way to stow a weapon like that would be very difficult in general.
What, the
Like
mall?
a mall. You'd
Oh,
have to
absolutely.
have some type of wrap in order to like be like a tension wrap
Yeah.
behind it, you know. But the mall the hammer would have to be high.
Yeah, like clonking you in the head. Like
Yeah.
every time you turn your shoulders, doink.
But then like taking it off would be a pain.
I think that's why they're always just depicted as
Excuse
like
me.
carrying them over your shoulder.
Yeah.
Because like truthfully, what else are you gonna do?
Well, yeah,
with
because
it?
if you ever came
Yeah.
time to need it, it would be like a pain in the butt to get it.
Yeah, like hold on, nobody fight me. I'm
Wait.
trying to unhook this.
Just give me a second.
like, you...
Help me! I'm too big.
Yeah, yeah, a really weird moment.
Okay, so
Okay.
you ready, Carlisle?
You are welcomed into the center circle of this village, and it's very kind of like a nomadic lifestyle. Like instead of permanent structures, they're mostly kind of like teepees in a way, and like a lack of a better term. Like there are tent structures that are easily folded and just taken elsewhere. And you are welcomed into a village of about like 70 of these lion folk, and it is only the lion folk. There is nobody else here. You see that quite a few of them have these like most of them that look battle hardened, like have scars on them. You see they have these large like fangs that have been fastened into daggers that are on their hips, and quite a few of them have like necklaces of teeth. And with no further knowledge, the teeth are unlike yours, unlike Carlisle's, even unlike the lion folks themselves. Like
That's
they do
reassuring.
have their large like canines in a semblance, but they're very different. Like they're truly like they almost look like all of them are fangs in a way, like sharp pointed teeth. And you're looking at a warrior tribe essentially. You're welcomed into like an inner circle where many of them just kind of like sit cross-legged on the ground, and the chief welcomes you and says,
Please.
Sit down on my knee, but I sit on my heels. You know,
"Oh, like the
like more of like a jujitsu.
yeah, like the Vietnam squat where you're just on your heels. You're not like
No,
touching the ground?
knees are on the ground,
Oh,
but I sit
okay.
sitting on my heels.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah,
I
not
don't
the
know if you were
full-
like
not the full
Asian
more like
squat or
Asian
not.
squat,
Yeah.
no.
Okay, gotcha. Like weird flex there.
Yeah. Like my knees have great
Squat,
movement.
no.
My knees have great movement. In them.
Yeah.
No, I just sit, you know, knees to feet are on the ground, but I'm sitting back on my heels. Maul's back behind me.
Absolutely. Okay.
There's someone that here that speaks fluid common, which wouldn't be common to the. That's always a funny concept to me.
Yeah.
Because common's
It's-
only common to the person.
Correct. Yeah.
So
I would say in a way
English.
like it's without making everything wickedly complicated.
Yeah. Common.
Yeah.
Someone that speaks fluid common. My name is Carson. This is Carlisle.
The chief continues to talk. He says,
We mostly speak our own, but common can be spoken.
Very good.
You Carson. He is Carlisle. What is that?
He points at Hack.
That is an automaton named Hack, created by a mage. He assists me when necessary. He's here to fight with you.
I am Chief Gordon. Welcome to the Rawas Savannah. It has been some time since someone fought alongside us. We welcome it. Do you know of the danger we face?
I'm afraid not. What we could see coming in is that there's a large group of, you call them lizard folk, killing your planet.
They are lizard folk, but different than these ones.
And he kind of holds up one of his necklaces.
He says, we do fight the lizard folk, but now we all fight them. We call them the hungry, for they consume. What they touch rots.
Last time I checked, not one person owns everything. This land appears to be yours, and they are taking it from you.
It is.
We will fight alongside you to get that back.
Thank you. We will share a meal.
And there's this.
We would be honored.
They start preparing a meal over the course of the next while. Very meaty, and it's with like some base grain kind of situations.
Mm-hmm.
You guys share the meal, and over the course of the evening, if there's anything you would like to discuss with them. Actually,
How many-
go ahead. Okay, no, go. Sorry.
How many other villages are on this planet? And
Beyond the mountains, we do not go. They do not come. They push the feral ones our way. I do not know anything beyond the mountains. We are strong here. More tribes like us wander the savannah. But we fight alone.
there are other tribes,
A few.
and they do not aid you in battle.
They have their own battle. We are far enough from the jungle. We do not deal with the snake folk. This is our new fight.
Very well. You said they push what? It's like you said pharaoh.
The feral. ones.
Feral.
Feral, yeah.
Feral ones. Interesting. May I be brash enough to ask what the name of your planet is? What do you call it?
We do not know. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Where do you come from, if not here?
We call home a place called Tovengard.
Unfamiliar.
It is a far place. Only one available to reach by starship.
Ship you came on.
Yes, sir.
Have you seen the ships the hungry arrive on?
We have not seen those kinds until just approaching your tribe. This is the first time we've ever laid eyes on them.
We kill them, and yet more come.
Well, seems to be they must have a larger population somewhere.
You do not know them or where.
No, Chief, we've not seen them in our history.
He turns his attention to Carlisle. He says,
Where do you hail from?
Carlisle goes,
Well, to be honest, I don't know. I'm not from Torvengard, but I know less. You are not from here. Oh, not that I'm aware of. There is legend of folk like you,
In the
but have not seen you or your folk in ages. Past my grandfather's time. Past the war. Lost to the war, your folk war. So you're telling me I could be from here? I don't know. But your kind used to walk these savannah long ago. The pointed ears came, destroyed the planet, destroyed your folk. That was the last we ever saw of your kind. Do the people beyond the mountains know more? I do not know.
and with that, they leave it there. And I think that's where we're going to call it tonight. I know.
Or here's something I have.
Only an hour and a half.
It's fine. It's like 1:37. You're good.
Let's push it a little further. Because we did have a little bit of pre-session, so we're gonna push a little bit further as we we'll kind of like fast track this, unless there's anything else you'd like to
No, that's
Okay.
I mean, I just
Yeah,
take it in.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so-
And you can see Carlisle kind of shuts down with that news.
Which, yeah, absolutely. That's
Yeah,
some
like
eye-opening
he
stuff.
kind of just like pulls into himself and kind of like just hunkers and quietly eats his food. And before long, there is like a brief time as you guys all just kind of collectively watch the sunset beyond the horizon, knowing what is coming. And you see all the other line folk around you start to gather their weapons once more. All the tents are loaded up, and the folk that do not look ready for battle are sent off, kind of like further north. And there's like a fond farewell, knowing that they don't know if or when they will be coming back. But as they ready themselves for battle, you and Carlisle prepare yourself. And Carlisle kind of like looks at you and he's like,
I didn't expect that. Carson, what if this is home for me?
It very well could be, Carlisle, and I feel that you're taking this the wrong way. This is happy news. This is great news.
They said they killed us all. Somebody killed us all.
That doesn't mean your people are dead. Your people are flyers. That might mean they're just moved on. You remember parts of a war.
I do. A great
So-
war.
If there was ships for your people to be on to retreat to a different location, they very well could be and a new location. But this might be where your people are from. That's fantastic news, Carlisle. That's more steps than you've learned in the last 30 years.
It's a lot to process.
Absolutely.
And we're charging off to fight,
Yeah, I know it's a
which
lot.
has always turned out so well for us.
You're right, but we're fully expecting it. That's new.
And we have compatriots to fight alongside.
Yeah, I mean, those guys are crazy. I mean, they're like full-blown warriors. I mean, I've never even experienced anything like this. Those guys look like they could probably eat my head.
I don't know what meat we were eating earlier.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna pretend I don't know.
Yeah, there's chicken.
It was chicken.
Yeah.
Torvin got chicken.
Torvin got chicken.
A little gamey,
Yeah.
pretty stringy, and
Yeah.
tough.
But
it's probably the way they prepared it.
these guys are... These guys embody a warrior mindset.
And for now, we must too.
And he kind of like looks around and kind of like drags his fingers through the mud, and he just goes,
Warriors.
That was about the corniest thing you could have done, Carlisle. But guess what? We're warriors. We're gonna find out if these are good allies or not pretty soon.
I hope so.
I think so.
and he kind of like loosens his rapier in the scabbard, pulls his revolver out, checks to make sure everything's loaded, clicks it back in place, pulls the musket out, make sure it's loaded, prepares a few extra shots.
Take the hammer and... Yep. My maul's loaded too.
It fits your hands well. Make sure you sweep the corners.
Get some shotgun rounds in here.
I'm nervous, Carson.
As am I. How long of a trek do you think it did he mention?
I don't know. I'm not a distance runner, I can tell you that. But I've got your back.
And I've got yours. We'll stay near each other.
Hold on. Let's get to battle.
All right. That's a wild statement. Let's get to battle.
And with that, the line folk seeing that you guys are ready, the chief gives you a quick nod, and then he turns and kind of does like a quick, like, very good clip jog. And Carlos,
Oh, I wasn't prepared for this.
as you guys are kind of like jogging, and he's definitely doing like the lineman shuffle. Feet aren't moving a heck of a lot, but he's keeping up as best he can. And you guys jog for probably about an hour and a half before finally the chief hand signals. Everybody lowers down into the tallest brush they can find, and Carlisle just like collapses next to you. He's like,
I'm gonna need a moment. Do you see anything, Carson?
make a perception check.
It's getting dark. Let's... Come on, Femurs dice.
You have dark vision?
I don't think so, actually. Double checking the app here. Oh, I do. For 60 feet, but perception?
Yeah.
10.
Okay. On the cusp of twilight, the sun kind of setting on that side of you, so it would be...
Like east?
Yeah, setting in the east. So you guys are kind of like looking into the sun. And the chief creeps his way over to you, very low to the ground, and he says,
We attack when sun sets. We have the advantage of surprise. Do your best to not let the blades touch you. I've seen what they do.
Yes, Chief. Are they... How many steps away are they from here?
Not far. Ambush about 100 feet away. We are
Perfect.
going to creep closer. Once we get 40 feet, we attack. ready for my signal.
Understood.
And do not be seen.
Maybe I'll be a couple steps behind just to make sure.
Fight well.
With that, he goes back to the head of his army, or of his small military.
I take. Remember what it felt like? What happened with my trident? I take and bite the inside of my cheek to where there's a little bit of blood, and I just let it drip from my mouth, and it hits the hammer. And as it hits the hammer, ice just
Right on. So emanating from this golden ichor that flows from your mouth, instead of the blood, the crimson red blood that you would expect, the golden ichor splashes into it and immediately just ice. What are your
a 1.
a 1? Nice. So hardly any damage.
Yeah.
Perfect for biting
Cheek.
the inside of the cheek. Yeah. It's as if you planned it. Carlisle looks at you. He says,
I guess it's now.
and he cocks the gun, and you can tell he's incredibly nervous about what's to come. And you guys all start to creep forward. So, if I can get a stealth check from you.
With disadvantage. With disadvantage. That's my new armor.
Oh, yep, absolutely.
You mean roll 1 for my boy Hack as well?
Absolutely.
Oh shit. I did mention that I was going to be behind.
Yep.
6 for me.
6. Okay, yeah.
Of course.
You son of a gun, Hack. Stealth is good. He's proficient in stealth. His proficiency bonus is 2.
Hex is 22. Of course.
Right on. Well, mark me down for a natural 20
Nice.
for, not Carlisle, but for the lion folk.
Okay.
As soon as you and Carlisle kind of start to creep forward, Carlisle rolled, okay, not bad. Stealth would be a 12 on his part. And even more importantly, the perception check was very low.
Okay.
As you guys kind of start to make a bit of noise as you creep forward, you see the lion folk kind of start to pull off this way. So they're going in towards a flanking maneuver. So I'm just going to kind of I'm not going to throw out any minis per se. I'm just going to, I can throw out you guys. We're going to represent...
Is this mine or is this going back in your room?
I'm going to hold on to that as my records. I can make a photocopy and give it to you.
No, absolutely. Whatever works out.
I can post it on Instagram too. Check out Instagram
Yeah.
for my hand-drawn map.
Our behind-the-scenes action and where you can catch and see what we see.
Yeah,
It'd be
I'm
great.
not an artist by any means, but hey,
But it looks great.
we
No,
should
it's
try.
It's a great map.
So, yeah, I post that on Instagram. Please check it out. So, this wasp ship is going to represent the lizard folk creatures. They are they're not near their wasp ships. Their wasp ships have kind of been a bit past, and they have pushed a good deal forward. In the dark, you can't actually see where the wasp ships are, but you are, let's call it, I will recognize, I don't know why I said recognize. I will represent this white one as the lion folk. So they're 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Yep. 40 feet away there.
Okay.
You and Carlisle, in terms of the 40 feet, if you guys are approaching head on this way, how far of a distance? You said you were hanging back, so how far back would you
20
be hanging?
feet to give them a lead.
20,
that way,
okay.
hopefully.
So you'd be a 60-foot distance?
Sure.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Okay. So at 60 feet, it is very low brush. So to give yourself any sort of cover, you'd probably be prone and crawling forward, or you can just be creeping forward, kind of ducked low, whichever one you'd prefer. Obviously, the prone condition is...
With a large maul, I'm afraid that I probably couldn't even prone. That would be although the mauls only weigh 6 pounds.
Yeah.
I
Oh, so
think.
you could
They're
probably
not
be
super heavy.
choked up on it.
Yeah,
And then
like
kind
at
of
the base of the hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I probably could. He's strong enough. He could
Okay.
probably do that.
Yeah, I would say Carlisle would definitely be like getting
Rolling.
low. He's got his like rolling. Yeah, he's just turned sideways and he's got his musket tucked and he's just like just rolling forward.
Yes.
No, so you two are over this way, like kind of laying flat, and you see before you, in comparison to the 10 lion folk that you have with you, there are 12 of these kind of like very slender. They don't have like a kind of like lizard jaws. It's more like they have kind of like a flat face.
Oh.
I hope I'm describing them correctly. I could be confusing them with a different one. I'll double check, and I might have to correct myself next episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see all of them, and they're very distracted in basically like bushwhacking across everything. Over kind of like on this side of them, you see they have just recently killed some sort of animal, and you see like from your point of view, you watch as the animal like within matters of being cut down, or within minutes of being cut down, that wound like spreads the blackness all through it and slowly encompasses the entire creature.
Oh.
And within like the heartbeat moments of you guys sitting here, it spreads throughout the entire thing, entire creature. And then as soon as it spreads and encompasses the whole creature in this blackness, the creature begins to like crumble beneath and completely disintegrate. And with that,
Golly. Okay.
we're going to pick it up next week
That means
with a full battle map.
it is going to be a hot
prepared.
start in
Yeah.
the morning.
Hot start as we roll straight into combat against
Crazy.
an unknown enemy with an
Crazy.
unknown ally on an unknown planet.
We're going to call it, I don't know, I got to think of a planet. I'll have to think of a,
I do have a planet name,
I
but
know, I'll
yeah.
have to think of at least a temporary operation name for the planet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Operate Planet Birth, you know?
Planet Birth. I was like, Bird, that's a weird name. Oh, Earth. Duh. Nice.
But no,
nice.
that's that's amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm excited. I am super excited.
Awesome. All right.
Well,
Once again, thank you
Quick
guys
shout out.
so much for tuning in to the sixth episode of Commander's Log. Here we are facing once more combat.
What?
Hoping Carlisle and Carson can make it out of this one with some new allies.
Yeah.
A huge
crazy.
shout out to Jason Wardell of In the Vast Forest for providing all the music you guys hear in the background. Huge shout out to Brandon for being here playing, and you guys here watching.
Yeah. Huge shout out to Logan for a kick-ass game. That was great. That was a little RP driven the last 2 episodes, but we're going to start hot and heavy with a nice, huge combat in the next session. So please tune in next Wednesday for episode number 7.
7 is crazy.
To figure out what in the world we got ourselves into. So, remember, give us all the feedback you can. Give us everything. Like, subscribe, tell your mom to watch us and tune in.
Not your cat.
Thank
Tell
you
your
guys
dog.
enough.
Tell your goldfish. Tell your neighbor's dog this week.
Yeah.
This week, just like
Spread the love a little bit, week by week.
knock on a door or the fence. Have you heard the good word?
We appreciate you
Commander's
guys.
Log. Wednesday.
That's Commander's Log for us, and catch us next Wednesday.
Signing off.
Duos of Destiny. See ya.
Thanks, guys.